And they have an article about AI. There's a lot about AI at the moment, isn't there? There are a lot of fears about it, but also others saying it could be hugely beneficial. So what take does the Observer give us this morning?
Well, artificial intelligence is something that I've been involved with and worked for many years, and I agree with you. There's an education piece that needs to be done. Every time we seem to see a story, it has this type of imagery that we can see here, doesn't it? Almost like the action figures and everything's very robotic. But it's been around us for so very long, and it's the evolvement of it that we need to understand a lot more. The story talks about the fact that there's plans to set up an institute in Cambridge, and that will be run by the former diplomat Stephen Cave. And it talks about how it's so important to understand and educate. It talks about the speculation that we've seen in press and media, particularly about things like loss of jobs and talking about data protection. And the more that we understand it, the more that we can actually ensure that users are safe, people who are interacting with organisations who use it are safe, and that people perhaps aren't as fearful and understand the benefits. And recently, I had the opportunity to hear from NVIDIA, who are this organisation right at the heart of it, and they had a job to try and persuade us as creatives not to be fearful of this. They showed us how it's been part of pretty much every film that we've been watching. You know, that AI created those spaceships. The AI created a lot of the imagery that we've seen, and how it can be used for good if the right regulations are put in. So I guess the story is, don't be as fearful of this. We need much more women, many more women in the industry, but we need to make sure that we understand the benefits, which could be in the medical profession, could be in the environmental opportunity, as much as we think about it as this quite robotic and alien entity.
Well, yes, as you say, I'm sure there are lots of areas that could benefit, but you mentioned the issue of regulation. I guess, Kate, the issue is whether regulation can keep up with technological development. That's one of the worries, isn't it?
Always going to be the case, and we've got to get balance in there. But we see day after day how quickly technology moves, and I think it's the users that need to make sure that they've got the usability, the guide to how they use it and where they can expect their data to be.
Yeah. OK.